Hi there, welcome to this video taking a look at one of the challenge races from Rise Race the Future on Nintendo Switch. Now this game's out on the eShop in a few days and I've been sent a review code early so I can take a look and make a review, so I will be doing a full review of this game in a day or so's time. But I just wanted to show you this race because the challenge mode is the main meat of the game, and that gives you different things to do while you're racing. So it still wants you to win, and that's what I'm doing here. But you notice those three yellow bits of text at the top there. One says don't use boost and improve your time each lap. These are just criteria that you have to meet in order to clear the challenge mode properly. So this race I was trying to do exactly that. So there is actually a boost button. If you press B while you're racing, then you get a sort of a blur of speed around the camera, and that's what the blue bar is on the left of the two circles at the bottom of the screen. You see it's actually charging. As I go over 125 kilometers per hour, then that blue bar starts to charge up, and that's the boost that you can use and deplete as you see fit. But of course I'm not using it in this race because I wanted to complete the challenge. So looking at the track design, it's actually very well done. You've got some difficult corners that you need to slow down for and take your line, and although the game is quite easy to play, it's definitely not easy to be good at. I find that the handling so far in the couple of cars which turn into boats, as you can see, that have been unlocked so far is actually pretty cumbersome. If for instance you wanted to go to the right here around that rock, you've really got to make that decision early because otherwise you just can't turn in time. Obviously there are some brakes and that does help your turning, but it's just not as responsive as some other races, especially other arcade races. But that's actually not such a bad thing in this game so far because that's giving it some real challenge. And I'm playing on the Pro difficulty. On the easier setting, which is the default, is actually quite easy to win, but setting it on Pro, which is the middle of 3 difficulties, I was finding it very difficult actually. So this race I did actually prevail, as you can see. Graphically it's no slouch. I mean, the draw distance is pretty great and the art design is pretty gorgeous, looking at all these trees, lots of blue skies, stuff like that. It's very reminiscent of early 2000s races. And that's sadly also true though of things like the frame rate, because it's only running at 30 frames per second. I was recording through an Elgato 60, which is why YouTube is probably giving you a 60 frames per second option, but you're actually looking at what looks like 30 frames per second screen update. Also, if you notice the reflections here in the bonnet of the car, they're actually not reflecting everything that's happening on the screen. It's a version of the skybox, and although it does know when the sun has passed behind something and takes that out of the skybox reflection, it's not actually reflecting what's going on. But still, the shadows are pretty good. The cars have got nice glows around them. It doesn't seem to enter slowdown at all. From what I've seen so far, it's a locked 30 frames per second, and I also haven't seen any screen tearing, so that's great as well. So I think so far I'm enjoying the game, but there are some things that I've noticed that are less than ideal. For instance, there's no damage on the cars, so as you crash into the other cars, which happens quite a lot, you just sort of rub off them. It's very easy to spin them around, and if you do crash yourself, you can actually reverse, which is fortunate because if you hit a wall, you just sort of come to a stop, which is a shame. It is possible to roll the cars though, and although I haven't shown the external views because I find it easiest in racing games to actually race with the bonnet cam like this, the external view does look pretty good. It's very arcade styled. So basically I am enjoying this, and I'm definitely enjoying it more the better I get at it and the more I get into it. So we're looking at pretty good arcade racer on the Switch, which is rare. I suppose the only other thing to note before we finish this video is the accelerator, of course, doesn't have any analog because it's mapped to the right trigger, ZR by default. But in this kind of game where you're not really looking to feed in the power gently anyway, it's pretty fuzzy in terms of control, both with accelerate, brake and with left and right. It's actually not too bad at all. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. Look out for a full review soon. I'm going to play this over the next day or two and then put up a review, so look out for that. But in the meantime, take a look around my channel for more gaming videos. I've got plenty on F1 2019, as well as music and other stuff as well, so take a look. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers.